In this video, I'm going to show you how to make emotional future bass like ILLENIUM. So without wasting any time, set the BPM to 150 for future bass tracks. Let's start with the intro. This is where we set the whole vibe. We are going for an emotional, atmospheric intro with guitar. I mean, we're making future bass without guitar?
SpongeBob, the f wrong with you?
Made him scream, made him cream, then he slobbered on my...
Might as well make cereal without milk, play games without a keyboard. A few months ago, I made a future bass tutorial where I showed how to create cool guitar melodies like this. It was the most detailed video I have ever made. But guess what I got? Only 1.8k views? Huh? Is this how it feels?
Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry?
Now that we have an emotional guitar, it's time to add some serious atmospheres, like a lot of atmosphere. You wanna add it twice. We want to make listeners cry so much that the sea levels go back to normal. Hashtag environment caretaker. And by the way, if you want to create this stutter effect, add an ambience loop. In this case, I have used my own sample, this one, and go to envelope knob, choose the speed and create automation clip. Shape it as per your liking. So the intro altogether sounds like this. Next up, verse, or whatever we are calling this part after the intro. I don't believe in this rule. I broke the matrix. Keep things mostly the same, but add some ambience and piano to keep the emotional roller coaster going. A tip, keep adding small elements to make each section feel different from the last one. So useful tip. You want your track to sound dynamic, not like a broken record. Then come the vocals.
You and me, we were always chased by demons, haunted by the dark side of our life.
And a lovely arc with a low pass filter, so smooth you might need a license for it. Alright, I'm done with the bad jokes. And also don't forget to add some impacts and some transition elements to make your transition feel smooth. The verse altogether sounds like this.
You and me, we were always chased by demons.
Now for the break or the portion after the verse, add drums to keep the groove, build momentum in your track. Add bass for depth. Moving into the chill part, let the vocal breathe. Remove some drum and bass. Drum and bass? No, this is for another video. Keep a few texture loops and strings in the background. We're letting the vocals talk to the listener here. Like, hi.
My name is Jeff.
There's also one mixing tip or common mixing tip. Like in the intro, we have only one main instrument, which is the guitar. But in the verse, we have the piano, which covers the low mid frequencies too. So we have to keep them clean. So I have this EQ on the guitar. And I've automated the mute knob, so it only acts when the piano plays. And I also added the same thing for the piano too when the bass comes in. Now the portion after the verse sounds like this. Here's the build up. This is where we crank up the tension. You know, something big's coming. I mean, something is going to come. We have the drop next. Throw in some sick build up drums, downlifters, risers. And introduce some drop elements with a low pass filter. Also add some melodies in the build-up. Don't forget high pass, reverb and volume automation for that big reveal moment.
We should be cutting the cord. We should be cutting.
Now on to the drop. Let's start with the drums. A kick so punchy it could wake the neighbors. Then add a snare. I recommend layering snares, one for the highs, one for the mid punch and one which covers the airiness. Plus reverse snares for that sucking effect, a suck in effect, or in more appropriate terms, sweep effect. Add crashes for the live drummer vibe and top loops in the second half to keep things spicy.
Spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
And don't forget to add some drop fills and toms to give your drums a nice groove. Onto the synths. For the chords, use super saws. Search a super saw tutorial on YouTube if you need a deep dive. Layering chords across octaves is key. See, B3 to A6 range? Who does that? Me. Layers. And also leave some space in your chords to add growls and ear candies, which makes your drop sounds professional. Now the processing: EQ to shape the sound, OTT for compression, reverb with peak controller, camel crashes for slight distortion, then 2 EQs to shape the sound. And for the sidechain I use fruity balance. Adding atmospheric samples is another secret sauce for making them sound epic. Who else would share secrets like this with you? Me. Subscribe please. See the difference? Very huge, isn't it? Bass time. We need something thick and gritty. Start with a mid bass. For the mid bass processing, EQ to shape the sound, camel crashes for distortion, EQ to shape the sound, then OTT for compression, then again slight distortion, and again EQ, and a fruity balance for sidechain. Sub bass. EQ to cut the high-end frequencies, little bit of OTT, slight distortion, EQ, slight distortion again through decapitator, then EQ and fruity balance for automation. So the bass altogether sounds like this. Now the leads. Make a melody that hits you right in the feels. Pro tip: use your chord as ghost notes to guide your melody. It helps keep things in harmony. Layers. And for the processing, EQ to shape the sound, OTT for compression, reverb using peak controller, camel crashes for distortion, then fruity filter, fruity balance, DQ to shape the sound. Now that we have got synths and chords, it's time to add vocal chops like ILLENIUM style. If you want to make amazing vocal chops, do it manually using the slide tool. I talked about this in a previous video, but since I know you're probably too lazy to watch it, I'll cover it here. Start by selecting a few vocal samples you like. Look for vibrato parts or elongated words, if that makes sense. Then use the slide tool to move through the vocals like this, experimenting along the way. To find the perfect vocal chops, you'll need to spend time trying different combinations. After that, create your melody and chop up the vocals with some post-processing. This will make things easier for you. For the processing, add little alter boy with these settings and play with the format. Increase the drive knob for distortion. Then after that, add reverb to make it sound huge. Then again distortion, EQs to shape the sound, OTT for compression, soothe to get rid of the harsh frequencies, stereo enhancer to make it wide. Then I added a fruity peak controller, sidechain EQing, and I also talk about this in this video. Fruity balance for sidechain and a clipper. Then export the final vocal chop, duplicate it and pitch some layers up and down to make it sound fuller. You can even pan some of the layers to make it wide. Finally, sprinkle in ear candies. Remember when I said to leave space in your chords? That's how we can add growls or synth fills that keep the drop interesting. So the drop without the synth fills and growls sounds like this. It sounds nice but feels empty in some places. And with the growls and synth fills, it sounds like this. That's it for the drop. Now just copy and paste it to structure the track, but don't worry, we're not keeping it exactly the same. We'll duplicate it and add few extra elements here and there to make it unique from the intro and verse. For the second build-up, add even more elements to keep it more energetic than the first one. In the second drop, for variation, add fake drop to create
Surprise,
moment for your listeners. If you like this track, guess what, Sherlock? This song is available on Spotify. It's my new track, Chased by Demons, made with my talented friends Axell and Atro. Go check them out. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Help me hit 3k subs before 2025. Now let's check out the final result.
You and me, we were always chased by demons.